digital data.
Hi guys, this is completely unexpected. There's a press conference going on right now that Jolissa Fuentes has been found. Unfortunately, she's been found deceased. I'm going to just tune into the press conference. It's part way through. But guys, this is awful. But here's the press conference.
So it was searched, and again, hats off to search and rescue. If you've been out there and you've walked and actually gotten out of your vehicle and looked at this area, you're talking about a vast
rescue was down 200 feet, and we couldn't even see them anymore, even with their flashlights. So they're down 200 feet.
I don't know whether that's them or me, honestly. Hold on, I'll just put it on my phone. No, it's them. Can you still hear me?
road in the bend.
Oh, there we go.
And it's
There we
just
go.
an unfortunate accident.
No, I will say that the Highway Patrol is investigating the actual traffic accident. So they're recovering the car as well as investigating the area to see if they can come up with any additional information about the cause of the actual traffic accident. And I want to say something here. Chief Alcarez is a very humble man, and he won't say this about himself. He personally found the scene of the accident. He went up to the mountains yesterday on his own, researching areas that had already been searched, and on his own, he actually found the scene of the accident. I'll say, being a woman of faith, I think he was divinely channeled to that area, along with his police instinct. I think that it was meant to be that he be the one, because he's worked so very hard on this case for so long with the family, that he has literally put an end to the search for Jolissa. So hats off to Chief Alcarez. The city of Selma is very lucky to have him. His personal dedication, his police experience, and paying attention to his gut was really important on putting an end to this case. So with that, the family, I'll introduce Jolissa's father, Joe. He's here to speak on the behalf of the family.
Yes, my name is Joey Fuentes. I'm the father of Jolissa Fuentes. And first of all, I want to thank the community, not just the community, this whole nation. The cries and the war pain of my wife and my sisters and my family was heard around this whole country. They didn't stop, they were persistent. And when this first happened with my daughter, I talked to Chief Alcarez. I told him man to man, I'm talking to you. You have a daughter, you have children? He told me, yes, I do, Joey. I go, I want you to go after my daughter like she's your daughter, Chief. And you know what he told me? He goes, I promise you, Joey. I promise you, I will find your daughter. At this time, we were hearing all kinds of stories. She was kidnapped, the cartels had her. There was so much stories out there, but he promised me he was going to find my daughter. He didn't tell me, he couldn't tell me when, but he was going to find her. And he was the one that found her. He was a man of his word. And he's a young chief in the city of Selma. He says he wants to change things around here. You know, it's a small town, but he wants to make a change for the better. And I thank God, he's my hero. He is my hero, you know, and I've known him for a while, but he was persistent. And his persistence paid off. Not only that, I know it was his love, and he went after her like it was hers. And once again, though, I thank all the community. I even thank the media. You kept my daughter out there. You kept her alive. We were her voice. And I'll forever love you guys for that. Thank you, guys.
So a little bit more about the area. That area is a good 60 miles, I would say, east of the city of Fresno. Back up on Trimmer Springs Road. As you know, the Pine Flat kind of runs east and west, but the rivers come in at the very east end of Pine Flat Lake, and it's right there where the near Maxon Road and Trimmer Springs, where the vehicle was found. And the chief was right. It was when we got the call, search and rescue, they used a total of 475 feet of rope to rappel. Not only did they have the initial ledge that they had to rappel off of, but they came to another ledge at the end of that. They had to rappel again down to where the vehicle was. You could not see it from the lake. You could not see it from the road. Chief Alcarez found what he thought was the place where the car went off. He couldn't see the car from where he was, but we did send out some drones and discover it in very close range with the drone, able to see the vehicle. So very difficult terrain. However, we were able to bring Jolissa home last night. Now the coroner's office will conduct the positive identification, but there's little doubt that we have found her. So with that, are there any questions? Chief, come on over.
You know, our staff, we put an enormous amount of pressure on them. Their caseloads are huge. Search and rescue. I don't even know how many cases they've had this year. I've got a fresh set of eyes, a lot of police instinct, and a little bit of faith and prayer. And I just got lucky. And sometimes luck is all you need. And I just got lucky. I tried to be very poignant with where I pulled over on the side of the road and kind of looked for areas that if a car did go off the side of the road, that it would be highly likely that it would be masked with the foliage and the terrain. And the last area that I checked was the perfect area, and that's where we found Miss Fuentes. So I just got lucky.
Was this at a bend in the road?
It is exactly at a bend in the road, at one of the probably higher points of the roadway that traverses through Pine Flat.
Do we think that the collision happened that Sunday night?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah. And again, the CHP will be working with the family to compile more data from the vehicle itself as the Highway Patrol starts that portion of the investigation.
And is this close to where the cell phone tower is, where the pings were?
You know, I don't have exact coordinates right now, so we'll again, like any case, we'll sit down, we'll debrief it, and determine, you know, how we deciphered the data.
Do investigators know why she was in that area at that time?
It's my understanding that Miss Fuentes really enjoyed the Pine Flat area, and anybody that goes up there, it's a beautiful place. It really is. It's gorgeous. And I think I best bet she just went for a drive, kind of like what I did yesterday. Just wanted to go for a drive.
Chief, when you went to this last spot, what did you find? Any evidence on the side? Did you see anything when you were looking that might have put you to look down?
Just it's obviously the whole area is dried up right now. There's a lot of heavy brush. There were some tire tracks that you really can't see until you get out of the car and actually walk and get on. You're actually on top of it, and that's kind of what keyed me off and started to spend more time in that area.
They look like they just went to nowhere.
Yes. And again, the Highway Patrol is going to have a much more impressive explanation, much more detailed as they conduct their investigation. It would be improper for me to speculate. It's, yeah. Right.
Sheriff, I see the emotion on your face. I mean, it's good to have this closure, but that's a very heartbreaking fact. Can you speak to that?
Whenever law enforcement get these kind of reports, we're always hopeful. We're always hopeful, always optimistic that we can bring a family member back to a family whole and intact, and it's a good ending. But it's not always, it didn't always happen. And it's heartbreaking, not only for the family when you see their pain, but it's heartbreaking for law enforcement when we work so very hard to try and have the best possible outcome. We can only imagine what it feels like for the family. We know what it feels like for us when we try so hard. We train for this, to be into difficult places and difficult terrain. And but still, it's heartbreaking that we cannot always have a happy ending to these stories. But what we are able to do is at least have an ending for the family, so that they know as much as we can possibly gather information for them to know that we tried our best. And again, kudos to Chief Alcarez, because it was above and beyond for him to have that feeling of needing to take a drive yesterday and ending up where he did, and ending up calling us saying, I can't see it, but it could be here. And he was right. We're grateful that we were able to bring, at least to this point, to the family that we have Jolissa, and they're going to be able to have her where they want her now, at peace.
Could you talk about your like day yesterday, how it started, why you felt the need to drive all the way and that far? What was it?
I think the sheriff said it best: divine intervention. You got to be in our business and deal with the things we deal with. You got to be a person of faith. It takes faith to do great things, but just faith. Divine intervention is probably my best explanation. And if you have no more questions,
All right, thank you all very much.
thank you.
Thank you.
That is just so completely heartbreaking. Heartbreaking. So I became aware that there was a press conference today. Someone posted me a link in my Facebook group, and I wasn't going to stream it because I thought, oh, this is just going to be another update, you know, and they're just going to tell us where they're up to, and it's not going to be, oh, cat's here now. It's not going to be anything major. And then all the family started to walk in, and I just had this sinking feeling, and I thought, oh no. But by the time I got my computer set up, and they just started the press conference. So the people who've just come in just now, Jolissa Fuentes has been found. She's been missing since August the 7th. Her phone last pinged in the Avocado Lake Pine Flats area, just outside of, well, it's about half an hour away from Selma, where she lived. And her family have been absolute troopers, just out there every weekend. The media, they've just kept the media interested. They've gone on YouTube channels. Adventures with Purpose went out there just after they went out and found Kylie. They went to Selma and to the Pine Flats, to Avocado Lake. They cleared those. They said she's not in the water. Wherever she is, she's not in the water. And she wasn't. She wasn't in the water. And it just looks like she went for a drive. That's all it looks like. She went for a drive. So in setting up my computer, I missed about 2 minutes of it, but I think she was found deep down a ravine, and the police chief, Rudy Alcaraz, was on his day off, and he just felt like going for a drive, and he had it on his mind. He had Jolissa on his mind. He had the case on his mind. And he just happened to look down. He got out of his car. He saw some tire tracks, and can't quite work out what the positioning was, but it's far down a ravine, and she wouldn't have been seen by, it's a very remote area. She wouldn't have been seen off the road. You had to be looking out, and it was just complete chance, or as he says, divine intervention, that he looked down at that time. So absolutely heartbreaking. Of course, there will be an autopsy, but they're confident of who it is. She was in a vehicle. The vehicle just looked like it's just a complete accident. It's a traffic accident. She went for a drive. She maybe misjudged a turn, just went off the road, and it can happen to anybody. It can happen to anybody. Thank you, Terry. Thank you. Yeah, it's so heartbreaking. However, at least her family have answers now, because we've been through every possible theory. I certainly have. I've not made a lot of videos about Jolissa, to be honest, because the Kylie Rodney case came up at the same time and everybody jumped on that. But Jolissa hasn't ever been far from her mind. And, I've done a few streams on her and gone through the surveillance footage and the possible theories, and was she abducted? And no, sometimes the most mundane, I'm sorry to say, when someone's lost a life, but it's mundane. It's an accident, and there's thousands and thousands of accidents every single year in every single country. And it does appear that in this instance, there was no foul play. Obviously, we'll await the autopsy, but that's what it looks like. That's what it looks like. That's certainly how the police are viewing it. So absolutely heartbreaking. Thank you, Cindy. Thank you. I gave no warning about this. Like I said, for the people just coming in, I knew there was a press conference. A couple of hours ago, someone posted in my Facebook group, and I wasn't going to live stream it because I thought it was just going to be another update. And then when the family came into the room, I thought, oh dear, this does not look good. This really does not look good. So I just very quickly got on my computer and set up a live. I've not even done a thumbnail or anything. So I'll have to go back and do all of that. But at least, Jolissa's family have got answers. They can take her home. They can lay her to rest. She's not on her own anymore. Down a ravine. She's been there since the 7th of August. She can now rest in the love of her family. So there's that, there's that, to be thankful for small mercies, because in such a remote area, if Chief Alcaraz hadn't have had that divine intervention yesterday and gone for a drive, she may never have been found, or at least not for a very long time. So it's very sad. It's very, very sad. but that's just what it looks like. And sometimes it's the simplest explanation that is the thing that is the truth. But yeah, 250 feet down. There we go. 250 feet down. So 250 feet down, that's where a car just went off the road, careered down 250 feet. And who would have seen her? Who would have seen her? And doesn't bear thinking about, you know, but at least. Oh, all right, guys, stop it. I'm not having this nonsense. You can get in timeout. Anybody making silly comments on a stream like this needs to give their head a wobble. They need to give their morality a shake, and they need to act like a grown-up when they come to my channels, please. Thank you. Thank you, Cecile. Yeah, Trixie's in here modding, but it's difficult because I've not set up anything. Trixie didn't know that I was going to go live. There was no warning or anything. I do have a few other mods on this channel as well, but I gave nobody any warning. So it's down to everybody to behave like a grown-up, stop being ridiculous, and have some compassion for Jolissa's family, and behave like a grown-up. It would be very, very welcomed if everybody could behave like a grown-up. It is heartbreaking, and there's not really much more to say. Once the autopsy is completed, I think probably the autopsy is going to be a formality, more or less. Okay, you do that. You do that, Princess Jasmine. Actually, I'll save you the bother, and I'll just block you. There you go. Save you the bother. Yeah, I think, to be honest, I think the way that the police are viewing this, just by the sounds of it, that 250 feet down, careers off a road, just like it's an accident in my opinion. But obviously we'll wait for the medical examiner's formal assessment on that. Yeah, the dad was Joe was, yeah, it's heartbreaking. It is heartbreaking. But yeah, there was one police chief that had some divine intervention on his day off, and brought answers to a family who's waited since August the 7th for answers, and at least now they can lay Jolissa to rest. So anyway, guys, this was just a very quick impromptu stream, and I'll let you all go. He was very very soft-spoken, very humble as well. Very humble. But it's heartbreaking. That's all that's all I can say. Okay, guys, thank you so much for joining me, and thanks for the super chats and super stickers. Thank you, Trixie, for hopping on at no notice whatsoever and modding. And I'll speak to you all very soon. Bye, guys.